Hey guys, I wanted to make a longer, a bit more complicated video for you guys that showed off a few of the arthropods that you could find in your own backyard. Uh, the plan was to just show you some of the things you could find, ask you to go outside and try to find your own, and then do a short review on the invertebrates that we've covered so far. It was going to be fun. It was going to be me outside showing you all sorts of crazy creatures, but I'm having a lot of trouble with my phone at the moment. It is moving at a snail's pace, and I can't get the videos to uh, download off of it onto my computer. So, unfortunately, that might have to be something that I do over the weekend if I can get it to work. So hopefully that will be present on Monday. But I have posted a small quizzes over what we've covered so far, just a few questions about it before we move on to vertebrates. Um, I will post a video later today showing you what we're going to do next week. I'm going to have a bit of a format change for the class that hopefully will allow you to have some more flexibility in how you tackle assignments. Hopefully, will let you schedule things for yourselves a little bit better. But I do have a few bugs to show you. So, without further ado, I'm going to show you some different arthropods that you can find in your own backyard, and hopefully next week, along with the regularly scheduled assignments, I'll be able to give you some information about arthropods in a little bit more detail. Okay, so let's take a look at these guys. So most arthropods come in four flavors. They have the arachnids, the insects, the crustaceans, and the Myriapodia, which are the millipedes and the centipedes. All right, so insects we will start with. And there are three different stages of an insect's life cycle. The first one is the pupa. I have a pupa to show you guys in here. I have two of them, actually. I'm trying to find one of them. He's a little itty-bitty guy. Don't know if I'll be able to pull him out of this little Tupperware dish. But, you know what? That's okay. I have the big one to show you. This guy I found in my compost bin. Now, he's going to move kind of slow. I promise you he is alive. The pupating form of insects tend to be pretty slow moving and sluggish, and the reason for that is that this is sort of a hibernation period for them. You notice there are way less. There he goes. He's moving around. There are way less bugs in the winter than there are in the summer, and the main reason for that is that they spend that part of the year, the cold winter months, they spend that in this pupated form where you've got a creature with no legs, doesn't move around much. Here is his head. It's very small, and then he has this segmented body. All insects, in fact, all arthropods, so the entire phylum, has a segmented body. They also have they have jointed limbs. All of them will have jointed limbs at some point in their life cycle. Let's turn you around. And finally, all arthropods will have an exoskeleton made out of chitin. If that word sounds familiar, it's because it's the same thing that mushrooms make their cell walls out of. These guys make their exoskeleton out of that. Think about that the next time that you're messing around with an anthill. Now, if you look up close at this little guy, his head is much smaller than the rest of his body. That'll sort of even out as he goes through the next stage, which is the pupating stage. He will cocoon himself somehow, either in a hard or soft shell, and then undergo a metamorphosis into a more conventional form of an insect, more of what you typically see with legs and thorax and so on. I have examples of that as well. So I'm going to try to find that. I don't have an example of a pupa. I had something about pupa in the other videos that I made. I'm hoping to get those out. I have remains of the pupa of a carpenter bee that I wanted to show you. But for now, I got to find this little weevil. These guys are usually pretty quick. There he is. Might not be able to take him out because they are really fast. Do you see this little dude moving around in here? That is a weevil. Now, a lot of people mix these guys up with Myriapodia. Myriapodia means many-legged. Myriapodia are centipedes and millipedes. They have, they're called that because a millipede has 1,000,000 legs, a centipede has 100 legs. So let me see if I can get this guy out. I'll leave this here for him to run around in. So we're focusing on that little guy. He is this guy right here. He is, you'll notice he has 6 legs. He has a very long back part to his body. We call that the abdomen. And he'll have a middle part to his body as well. That's the thorax, and then his head. Arachnids, and I could not find any good arachnids, unfortunately. But arachnids actually have just a abdomen, so the big part in the back, and then their head and their thorax are one segment of their body, and we call that a cephalothorax because cephala means head, so it's a cephalothorax. It's a head thorax. Now, I'm willing to bet that if I asked everybody who's watching this to draw a picture of a spider, they would give me something like this. They would give me, you'd have your cephalothorax and your abdomen, and then you'd have your 8 eyes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They just draw 8 wherever, right? And then they'd have like the little scary, spooky things right here. And then they would draw the legs like this. Now, a few people are already saying, Mr. Cruz, that's not a spider. That's not right. And they're saying it's not right because spiders have 8 legs. All arachnids have 8 legs, actually. But this is even less accurate than it could be. There's a very simple mistake that a lot of people make. This is wrong, all right? Because a spider's legs always come off of its cephalothorax. So we got our eyes. Now there will be 2 larger eyes and then 6, 2, 3, 5, 6. They always have these 2 larger eyes. Well, not always, but usually they'll have 2 larger eyes and then 6 smaller ones. These are their larger, I believe. Yeah. Let me redact any statement that I make about their eyes, because I'm not super sure if they have compound eyes or not. I will look it up and I will put that in the description of this video. But they have 2 larger eyes usually and then 6 smaller ones. And these little things right here, these are called pedipalps. Pedipalps are, you can think of them as tiny little arms that they use to bring in food. This is my pedipalps right here. Yeah. So they grab onto food with that and bring it in. They also typically have a spinneret in the back. Most of them can spin silk. And cool thing about spiders, spider silk is actually stronger than steel. It is just very, very thin, which is why it breaks easier. Scientists have spent a lot of time trying to figure out how they can replicate the protein structure of spider silk. Yes, it is made of protein. In order to get something so strong. But the best solution they have right now is just to farm it if they can. They have genetically engineered goats that produce spider silk in their milk. Uh, but besides that, still trying to find an engineering solution to find something as strong as spider silk. Very interesting stuff. All right, so the last one of these, the last arthropod that I wanted to discuss with you guys is a crustacean. And I bet you didn't know this, but you probably have a crustacean in your backyard. I am going to show one to you right now. I bet you didn't even know this was a crustacean. There's another bug in here. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, there's a pupa in here. Is this a pupa? Sorry, I know you can't see what I see here. Let me bring it into frame. This, yes. This is a pupa. So let me look at my feed here. Yeah, okay, that might be hard to see, but this right here. Now I can't say what animal this is going to become, what insect this is going to be, because I'm just not that good at identifying them. But on this little clump of dirt is an arthropod, an insect in the process of metamorphosizing from its pupal stage, where it's a little grub, into its adult stage, which is when it's one of these right here, with an exoskeleton made of chitin and jointed legs and a segmented body. Isn't that interesting? We have every stage of an insect's life on camera. Okay, so on to the crustacean. I know he's in here. Let me find him. They like to hide out. They're very good at protecting themselves. They're particularly good at playing dead. Where did he go? I hope he didn't crawl out. They like to do that too. They're very adventurous little guys. There he is. Okay. All right. He was surprisingly hard to find. There's a lot of them in the winter. Not as many in the summer. You have to go to cool places in your yard to find them, but they are still present. This is not an insect. This is the only land-dwelling crustacean. That's right. For those of you who maybe don't know what I mean by crustacean, a crustacean has many segments and is usually water dwelling. Think shrimp, or there we go. Think shrimp or lobsters, crawfish. These are all crustaceans. Now, the beautiful thing about this guy, who is a pill bug, is that he will he makes a great pet. They don't bite, they don't sting, they love humans. They like to explore all over humans. They're not scared at all of you. They very quickly just go looking around. Um, they make excellent pets. They're very easy to take care of. You just give them, like a grape or a strawberry once a week, maybe a slice of carrot. Keep their bedding nice and moist, and you can keep these guys for upwards of 6 or 7 years. They'll live. They'll get huge in that time too. My niece used to keep 2 of them as a pet. We recently let them go because she just got a pet rat. And, it's a lot of responsibility for a 5-year-old to have that many pets. So, I have been thinking about keeping another one of them as a pet. We do have a lot in our yard, but it's a lot of responsibility for me, too. I have a lot of kids to take care of already as a teacher, so I don't know if I could keep one of these guys. But all the same, I encourage you to go find one. Just get a Tupperware container, put some holes in it, fill it with detritus, and by that I mean rotten sticks and leaves, bits of dirt, a stick. Put a carrot slice in there and keep one of these little guys as a pet for a while. you might be surprised how much personality they have and how much they actually like you. So this was crustaceans. We covered insects. I wish we could cover arachnids. If I can get those videos to work, I'll be able to show you some arachnid remains at least. But yeah, that is this video. Remember to take the quizzes that reviews this material. I hope you learned a lot about arthropods from just this small experience, and I will see you guys on Monday. Get back in there. All right.